All right, good evening, everyone. It's good to have you here on tonight. This is our Drew County NAACP Branch 6042 General Membership Meeting, April 19th, Tuesday night. So welcome. So I'd like to call the meeting to order, and I'm asking our prayer and mission is going to be conducted by Pastor Daryl Daniels. And let me do a few housekeeping rules before we get started. Okay? Hold on a minute. Okay, I am going to ask that if you have noise in your background, if you already know that you're going to have noise, then please mute your phones or your laptops or your iPads, whichever one you are on at the time, okay? So please mute those. Let's see. So we're back on, and I have muted out everyone at this moment until we get ready to talk. Then you guys can probably unmute yourselves if you have any questions. Let's do it that way. If you're speaking or you have any questions, go ahead and unmute, or you can actually use your reactions to raise your hand, and then we will recognize you on your reactions and come to you, okay? All right, so the meeting is called to order, and let's see, is Pastor Daryl, is he on, back on? Okay, let's give me a minute here. I'm looking through my people to see if he's on. Okay, Pastor Daryl is not on, so I'm gonna ask Minister Anthony Jackson to unmute and to fill in for him until he get back on.
Dear Lord, we thank you for this day and for allowing us to come together as a branch for another meeting. We just ask that you be in the midst of all we say and do, and that this will be a productive meeting as we carry out the mission of the NAACP. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Our mission of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People is to ensure the political, educational, social, and economic equality of rights of all persons, and to eliminate racial hatred and racial discrimination. Forgive me, I think that I'm supposed to adopt this agenda, and I have not done so. So the secretary is scrolling through, and I need to have a motion to accept the agenda for tonight.
I, Stacy Smith, move that we accept the agenda as printed.
I, Lou Lambert, second the motion.
Okay, it's been moved and second to accept the agenda for tonight. All in favor, vote aye. Go to your chat, please, and cast your. All right, are there any questions or opposed? Okay, so we're going to move on to roll call. And what I'd like for you to do is to go inside the chat, please, and place your name there. If you're unable to go in the chat, then just tell your name, come off mute and give your name so that we can place it in the chat, please. Those of you who are by phone, the secretary will not know if you show up as Galaxy or anything else. So we're going to need to either see your faces or put your name in the chat for us, please. And that's even if you are a guest. We are open to others, but we do have to record who is online with us and who is listening in. Okay, Secretary, I want to make sure, do you see anyone that we need to address before we move forward with the roll call?
President, there's someone that's on with an iPhone.
She just put that in. That's Melanie Rawls.
Okay, then who
This
is
Bettina.
I'm the other one, 5191.
Who is the Galaxy? Galaxy.
Galaxy S10e. Right. Galaxy S10e.
That might be Birdie. She
Okay,
probably, I know Birdie is on.
okay. And then we have a 224-2416.
I think that might be Sister Peggy.
Okay, all right. If you got it, so be it. Okay,
And then President, there's a last number is 3736.
Now that, I think that's Bird. Let me see. That's the one might be Birdie.
okay, right.
3736 is Birdie.
Okay,
Okay, and then still need the one that's saying that Galaxy S10e. So you say that's Melanie with the iPhone.
yes. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna move right along then. I think, is that all, Secretary? I
I'm
hope I
still, let me see.
still trying to,
Still need to person for the Galaxy got tongue tied, the
I got you.
S10e Galaxy.
I'm gonna send a personal message. That may be Barbara Cooper. Oh, it's Barbara Cooper. Okay, she said it's Barbara Cooper, and I sent a chat message to see. And Zoom user, is that still Zareta? Okay. All right. Okay, so if you just joined us, please go ahead and put your name in the chat box for us, please. And we're going to move on. So if you just joined, and every now and then, okay, good deal.
President, Zareta is on two, is she on two devices?
Oh,
It does look that way, but I shouldn't be.
Okay,
okay. That may be okay.
and then I have Barbara Cooper, but that
Okay.
mm,
The Galaxy, is that Shamil Norwood? And I think she just posted. I sent a message.
okay.
Okay. Monica Allen. Okay. All right, I think we're ready. We ready? Okay, so we're gonna go on with our minutes. You have been, the minutes have been distributed by email to all of the members. Could I get a motion to accept the minutes that have been received through email, please? And that's anyone on this line can make a motion in second, okay?
Madam President, move that we accept the minutes as presented.
Madam President,
it's Reverend Buffett, and I second that motion.
Okay, it's been moved and second by Lou Lambert and Darian Buffington to accept the minutes that have been distributed. All in favor, vote aye. Go to your chat, please. And are there any opposed? And if there's somebody who couldn't vote in the chat, you can just say aye.
Aye.
Okay, I won't leave nobody out. All right, so we're gonna move on to our treasurer's report. Treasury reports have been, a bridge report has been distributed to all members. And I'd like to remind you, before we take a vote for it, that if you need the itemized treasurer's report, you can make a request to our treasurer, Regina Lindsay. So can I have a motion to accept our treasurer's report?
Madam President, I, Josephine Buffington, move that we accept the treasurer's report.
Lou Lambert, second.
Okay, it's been moved and second by Mrs. Buffington and Ms. Lou Lambert to accept the treasurer's report. All in favor, vote aye in your chat, please. Any opposed? Okay. All right. So now we are going to, as you are continuing, we accepted the treasurer's report. We're moving on to our committee reports. So I don't have them in any kind of order. I'm just gonna look through and kind of start calling the committee members. Ms. Lou Lambert, membership committee, could you please make your report?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. Membership and Life Membership Committee report for March 2022. Our meeting date was March the 14th. Committee members present was Annette Gardner, Bertie James, Barbara Cooper, Para Byers, Valerie Del Santo, and myself as chairman. I'm sorry, those the committee, those who was present, Barbara Cooper, Bertie James, Para Byers, and myself. Members of the committee discussed the progress of the March Madness campaign. Members were reminded and encouraged to recruit new members. This is one of the duties and the goals of the committee. The campaign flyer was made available for distribution. The committee members were encouraged to visit the Drew County and the National NAACP websites to understand the mission, vision, and other important information about the organization. The committee represented in the Black History Parade sponsored by the Youth Works. Chairman used this opportunity to recruit. Every member is asked to view their membership expiration date on their membership card. Everyone is encouraged to renew their membership. The membership ID is on the card, and that is necessary to renew. I reported 17 new members joined during the month of March. Actually, it was 21 new members during the month of March, and 10 members renewed their membership. Respectfully submitted, Lou Lambert, chairman.
Okay. Does anyone have anything for membership? Okay, so next I see political action, Reverend Buffington. Would you go ahead and give your report, please?
Yeah, Madam President, we Special Senators Josephine Buffington, Melanie Ross, and myself, we met on third month, 22nd date, getting prepared for a meet the candidates. And on the members met to discuss time and venue for the candidates was running for office, having an open forum to introduce themselves and explain their platform. The candidates will be those running for county judge, justice of peace, the constable, school boards. And that date was April the 10th from 4 to 6 at the Sadie Johnson's community building. And I must commend the committee and especially the MC, because I don't know where we got her from, but that girl did a good job. I don't know, but I wasn't there. Hey, I wasn't there, but all I've been hearing, whoever she is, wherever we got her from, we need to keep her. So, but anyway, she did an awesome job. Everybody did an awesome job. So much so until, they're asking, will we do another? And, but we will in fall for the mayor's elections and sheriff's election and all of that. But I just want to say that everything went well. I thank the committee, again, Josephine Buffin, Special Sanders, and Melanie Ross for doing an outstanding job in my absence on May the 10th, April the 10th. That's
Good
our
job.
report for that.
Good job, good job. Good job, MC. All of y'all did well.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
they did an awesome job.
I was so proud. Well, next, Mr. Jackson, are you ready to give your report for the Education Committee?
Yes, ma'am. Our committee met on March the 5th. Committee members are myself, Anthony Jackson, Angela Anderson, Sharonda Forte, Karen Simpson, Aaron Campbell, and Tanita Greggs. Those members present were myself, Angela Anderson, Sharonda Forte, Karen Simpson, and Aaron Campbell. Our committee discussed having a continued presence rather in the schools beyond MLK and Black history, and making use of our media team to highlight and showcase positivity of our students. And one thing that we're going to be doing within the next month is our senior spotlight. You should have a form coming to you, which will highlight the positivity of our seniors, whether they be a graduating high school senior or a college senior. If you are a member of this branch and you've got someone who is a senior in your family, we want you to get that information to us because we want to promote the positivity of our kids. We realize a lot of times they don't always get the recognition they deserve if they don't rank in the top 10 of the class and all that stuff. But when kids graduate, be it from high school or college, that's an achievement. And we want to promote that or anything positive that our kids are doing in the community. We also talked about planning and presenting activities and programs in the community that will engage young people and adults in terms of education and making parents more aware of policies that govern our student behavior and academics, because we just don't want parents flying by the seat of their pants and not knowing why things happen in the schools the way that they do. Lastly, we talked about gathering data that indicates where African American students fall or rank in terms of lost learning and closing the achievement gaps. And I want to say I will be privy to serve on a committee on April the 29th that will review special education data. There's a disproportionate number, and we're finding that a lot of our African American kids, particularly here in the Monticello school districts, are being over-identified for special education placement. And so we want to look at that to see what we can do to break that cycle and to keep that from happening. We want to make sure that everything possible is being done before they're actually being referred and placed in special education. So that's where we are. That is our committee report, and it's submitted by yours truly, Anthony Jackson, the Education Chair.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm just going to say that at one point we experienced that in another school district where they were trying to put my child in special education, and I showed up, and he didn't need special education coming out of a school where he ranked high from preschool, pre-K. So I appreciate the work that you guys are doing. We most definitely need to make sure that we're on top of that. I appreciate that. Great work.
Well, President Pace, what happened was ever so often the state comes down and they review your files, and they discovered that we have entirely too many African-American kids in the Monticello School District that are being identified, and they want us to go through and look at the kids that are being placed and make sure that we've done everything possible to keep these kids from being placed in special education. And I was asked to serve on that committee, so I took the challenge.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Well, we here to help.
Great, great. Yeah.
Yes, good job. We here to help. Okay, we have Zareta Ingram of our health committee. Do you have a report? I'm gonna move on. Sometimes she has her son in the background and have to corral him, so we'll give her a minute and she'll let me know when she's ready. Let's see, who do we have? Axel, Belinda Woodard. Axel.
Good evening.
Good evening.
March 2022 report. Our meeting date was March the 13th, 2022 at 3 p.m. Present was Belinda Woodard, Constance Williams, Shankendra James, and Gabe Pace. Topic of discussions were, we talked fundraisers. We plan to do a $5 donation of $100 worth of gas, drawing to be held on May the 30th, 2022. And we also in the works of planning a gospel explosion talent show June the 25th. And we're gonna meet with the youth on April the 30th, and that's next Saturday. The AXO committee is still under construction and finding additional committee members and students, volunteers, mentors, and sponsors. And that completes our AXO report for March of 2022. Belinda Woodard, chairperson, Council Williams, vice chair, and Shankendra James, secretary.
Miss Belinda, would you, for some of those that are new, that have joined us, would you give them the age and a brief synopsis of AXO and what it's about?
Okay, AXO is about finding our gifted and talented youth in an array of different categories, and then they're from ages 9th grade through 12th grade. If they're in the 9th grade, and usually that's around 14, 9th grade through 12th grade. And we have a local competition, and then whoever is the winner at the local level get a chance to compete in the nationals, which is held in July. And because we are in our beginning stages of forming, we are trying to recruit students, volunteers, mentors, and also raise funds so that a lot of the out-of-pocket expense will not be a burden on the parents to be able to get the student ready for the competition.
Okay, what number can they reach you at? Because I want everybody to begin to help. Some of you churches got youth in your youth departments and so forth that are talented. When she says that, you know, I think of one young lady who's just won Johnson, Rosalind Daniels' daughter, who just won a competition in a culinary competition. That's the things that happen with AXO. And so she needs youth, young people to start working with and people for mentoring. So, Ann, would you tell them your telephone number so if they know any youth, they can help contact you and y'all can figure out how they can become members of AXO and become active now? Would you give your number, please?
My telephone number is 870-224-2538.
Okay.
And
All
you can
right.
call me anytime. I will answer the phone.
All right. Thank you. Zareta Ingram, she's ready now.
Good evening, everyone. So this month, the health committee did not have a formal meeting, but so therefore we don't have a report. But we would like to mention that during the month of March, the health committee gained 3 new members: Ebony Farmer, Lakeria Simpson, Tamara Welch, and we are looking forward to getting work done in the community and teaming with other committees this year. Zareta Ingram, Health Committee Chair.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And welcome everybody. Welcome new members, new everything. Welcome. Okay, next, Chris Allen from the Economic Development Chair.
Good evening. The Economic Development Committee had a meeting March 31st. And attendance was Alana Gordon. The Economic Development Committee, we had no upcoming events coming for the month of April. We did discuss that we will work on having new members added to our local branch. This effort was part of the March membership campaign that we were running. The committee would like to share employment opportunities with businesses in town and surrounding cities. So we are working on developing newsletters to start going out again when we find out about employers in the surrounding areas and companies that are hiring. We believe that's very important for our community to help people get employed and so they can be empowered and have their finances. So we're going to start working on newsletter and start sending out information when agencies or companies are hiring in the local area. So branch members can expect to receive emails later this month from that. And please, when you receive this flyer, please share it with the members of the community. This concludes our report submitted by Dr. Chris Allen.
Okay, thank you, thank you. In hearing that, it would really be nice to have a some type of skills, hiring, resume writing, application filling out seminar. I just thought about that because I was in a overall meeting and we were slack on understanding how to do those things. So just a suggestion you guys think about.
Okay, well, I will meet the committee in my next report for April. We did have a new member come board, but they didn't do the March campaign, but they did do it for April. So that'd be in my next report, but I will sure meet with them and see if we can set up some type of workshop.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, next we have Miss Peggy Orr. Sometime Miss Peggy.
President, I didn't get a chance to. I just received Sister Peggy Orr report, so I'm going to try to share that.
Okay. All right, while she is sharing that, I just want to check in on legal redress.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, I got you. She's gonna share.
I'm here. Okay.
Legal redress, do you have any report?
No report, Madam President.
Thank you. All right, Miss Peggy.
The Freedom Fund Committee met on March 11, 2022 by conference call. The meeting, the members' presence were Terry Hobson, Peggy Orr, and Assistant Secretary Lena Kennedy. The chairman presented the fundraising idea of the Go-Go photo contest. It is an online contest consisting of individuals who upload their photo to enter the contest to compete for prizes. After much discussion about the pros and cons, such as who would be contestants, costs of running the contest, and people understanding how to participate, it was agreed to present it to the executive committee. The chairperson also presented the information about the contest to other members of the committee who were not on the call. Both members, Christine Bell and Dr. Bernice Cole, agreed to presenting the contest as a fundraiser. The time frame for running the contest would be March 21st through May 1st and would be a mother-daughter lookalike contest. On March 15th, the chairman presented information about the Go-Go photo contest to the executive committee and general membership during the March general meeting. Those present had no objections, and the president thought it was a good idea. Several questions were raised and would be addressed by the committee. The president later asked for a written layout of the fundraiser to be presented to the executive committee so they would know how to push the event. A written list of rules and questions were made available to be reviewed and approved by the president, but due to full schedule, the president did ask that we would, and information that was needed about the branch. What she asked that everything be presented during the April meeting. Peggy Orr, chairperson, members Christine Bale, Dr. Bernice Cole, Danelle Jameson, Terry Hobson, and President Lena Kennedy, assistant secretary.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms.
That's
Peggy.
our report.
Okay, we missed you at the executive committee, but we will make that call, make that special call meeting now that April 18th has passed, and so that you can, your prizes, okay? So that we can look over your prizes.
Yes, ma'am. I was out of town with a dead phone at the time at 6 o'clock.
Oh, understood, understood. Okay. All right. Next we have, who else do we have? Who did I miss? Oh, Armed Forces, Bettina Randolph.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Can y'all hear me? Okay. The Veterans Committee met on March the 4th. We're still working on the Arkansas Food Bank, working with the Arkansas Food Bank, distributing free food to the community, and we'll be in the planning stages of a trash cleanup starting next month. We have also received another request for a wheelchair ramp for an elderly lady. We are communicating back and forth with that family. As soon as that family purchases the supplies for that project, we'll get it completed as well. And with some special news, the veterans of Drew County of the VFW and American Legion were nominated for the Nonprofit of the Year. We made several calls once we were made aware of that nomination to solicit support and all of that. And we were very gracious to have a good number of supporters, I think about 25. Several of them were NAACP members. And during that banquet, which was on March 28th, I think, we did receive the award as Nonprofit of the Year for the veterans as a whole. And so a lot of those NAACP members are part of that group who received the Nonprofit of the Year award. And that concludes our report.
All right, congratulations. Bettina, be sure that our PR department has that information so that they can, or pictures or anything, so that they can get that up and then, you know, get it around on our media and website, okay?
Okay.
All right, next we'll have our Miss Regina Lindsay over the Finance Committee. Is there a report?
No, there is no report. We did no, there's no report.
Okay, all right. So did I leave anybody out at this time? Let's see. I did see Stacy on, but she'd be at work and she tried to get on. She's over Youth Works, and I didn't see a report from her. Secretary, did you have a report from her?
Who was that, President?
Stacy Franklin.
Oh, no, ma'am, I didn't have a report from her.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you all. Thank you all so much for your report. Let's govern ourselves accordingly. Great job, chairpersons. I will let everybody know that the work of the NAACP is done through the committees. So all of these committees, plus those that you're probably not hearing from tonight, are open. We have an open slot for a chairperson of WIN, which is Women in NAACP. If you're interested in that, you can contact me. We have an opening for Housing Committee as well. And I think that that is all that we have at this time. And so contact any one of these leaders and let's go to work. Let's show some, religious committee. That does not just have to be pastors. Pastor Darrell is the leader of that committee, and he has expressed, yes, we're gonna talk about that. Yes, Rem Buffington, I got your message. And he is soliciting, at this time, we have to have at least 3 on every committee. And so what's going to happen is that you don't have to be a missionary, evangelist, or whatever to be on that religious committee, okay? So he is asked to express that anybody interested in that, contact him, help him out, and get moving. But he's a
You
single.
are breaking up, Madam President.
Oh, I'm so sorry. But anyway, I'm just saying, contact Pastor Darrell if you're interested in the religious committee. You do not have to be one of the 5-fold ministries to be a part of that committee. All right. Next, and I'm gonna get to that, Reverend Buffington. I saw you know. Next, we have can the Vice President, can you summarize that special discussion that we have had and in the executive committee meeting, so everyone will be aware? Okay, if she's unavailable, Secretary, do you think you could summarize that for us and let the members know they may need to be aware in case this is an upcoming election and they may want to be a part of that, but then they'll just have this FYI.
What the Vice President spoke about?
Yes, ma'am. What happened? Yes, at our executive meeting.
Okay, good evening, everyone. The Vice President spoke about officers who are running for public office, and you are aware that our president is running for officer. So therefore, based on the NACP guidelines, she has to submit a resignation to the branch, and the branch has the option of accepting or rejecting that resignation. During our executive meeting on tonight, the executive committee rejected that resignation. There was a meeting, a quarter state meeting, as you are aware of, that was held this past Saturday, and it was pointed out that we as a branch do not have to accept that resignation if we have a president who is doing well. And therefore, so the executive committee decided and voted that, our president was doing a good job and we did not want to accept her resignation. So therefore, we had to go on record stating that, that she did submit a resignation to resign from being the office of president, but because of what she is doing for the branch and her activities and leading the branch, we voted to reject that resignation letter, and therefore she will, due to the fact that we felt that it was not going to be a conflict with her office as a president. So therefore that we rejected it, but it had to go as a procedure and guidelines as one of the guidelines bylaws of the national, our association. So that's the process. And that's what happened. And we rejected that resignation letter. Any questions? All right, President, I think I explained it well. I hear no questions.
Right. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, we're gonna go to our unfinished business. Regina Lindsay, if you would summarize what our budget, what we elected to do tonight as a branch budget.
Good evening, everyone. We have, to summarize what we did tonight with the budget, we presented an overall budget totaling income of $30,273.15. And that includes a projection of income from corporate and grant projections that we discussed earlier in the committee, and an assessment of $500 per committee to be raised this year. So it's $500 for each committee. And with that, each committee will be given the opportunity to have seed money or startup money in the amount starting at $100. In addition to that, most of the subcategories have an increase in projected in the memberships are doubled from 3,304 to 7,300. Total fundraising goes from 7,312 to 15,700. Expenses for the same membership expenses were 1867 for 21. In 22, we project that those will be 3650. Clerical will be down, but office expenses, including media, marketing, and printing, MailChimp and administration, website, etc. That total projection sort of was 100-fold, was 3,204, a negative amount. Supplies, 1979 as opposed to 686 last year. Registration and national dues, national affiliation, 2,075, whereas state was 1,198 this past year. The Freedom Fund Committee, we have them projected to spend in roughly 4,350 as opposed to 1,711. And I do apologize, Ms. Peggy, I didn't ask you for a total, but I figured we'd have an in-person banquet this year, so I did include 2,600 for that. So that gives us a total projected expense of 18,000, 30,273.15 for our projection. Now, if you have any questions about any particulars, I'll be glad to, I or any other member of the committee will be glad to address that. I see that it is scrolling. Any questions? And I want to add, I know the president said earlier that since we had, this is April and we're just getting this out in print, although we did a rough one earlier. 500 is not your cap. If any committee has a bubbling idea that would bring in 5,000, I am sure we would not reject that. Am I right, President?
Amen.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
let me get another amen there. Okay, so we okay, all right. So okay.
Amen.
So you know,
Sister
it is,
Lindsay.
you know, if you could dream it tonight and come up with an idea, you know, we run with it. And I want to apologize for, I know this is the Treasurer's Report, Finance Committee, but I also wanted to say that we had discussed something about doing a program of wheels, and we're gonna continue with that and maybe get with political action and see if we can't, I don't know if it'd be political, one other committee, but we want to show how we can, you know, we can get out there and lead and make money at the same time. So, I mean, bring in money, I don't mean make money, bring in money for our organization. So if you have any questions, I'll take them. If not, that's what I have.
Okay, thank you so much. I suggest legal redress and economic development. They can help you.
Okay, yeah, I knew I was wrong there, but good. Okay, okay. Mm.
Okay. Any questions, she said? Okay. Okay, if not, we're gonna move to the next thing on the agenda, which was the MLK itemized report. If you get the budget, actually the itemization of what was spent, I've always given you the report and I gave you the total amount of expenses and the amount that we had as a profit. So that is actually on that budget sheet, which you get a copy of, and you can review the itemization then. I'm not going to read through it, but you can go. Oh, it is skipping. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm skipping tonight. But you guys can go to that budget and you can see the itemized account of what was spent for the MLK committee. Okay, next on the agenda, he's talking. My internet seems to be unstable, you all. Next on the agenda, I'm not looking at it. I was looking at it online. Secretary, what's next?
Just give me a minute, President. I was trying to, Wesley was stating that he didn't get the information. So just hold on. I was trying to send it to him.
I do have it pulled up if you would like for me to.
I got it.
Okay.
There you go. Wait a minute, it's the executive. Still kind of.
What is next, Ms. Lambert? Ms. Lambert?
Okay, she has to pull up. That's the reason I didn't say anything.
PR. Is the PR chairperson on? Mr. Reverend Daniel, are you on? Reverend Daniel? I thought he was on.
The president is back.
Okay, sorry, y'all, my internet just poofed and went down.
Okay.
Okay, so Miss Lindsay, can you give an update on you all and what you did is in the voter registration campaign?
Oh, I sure can.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks, first of all, I thank you guys for letting us be of service to you. What we did is we drafted a letter and got, of course, approved a letter that we sent to all of the pastors that was attached to what we considered a packet of pertinent information. In that packet, we had a voter registration form, and we had a membership application form to the NAACP. So each little packet included those things, the letter, the cover letter, which was basically addressed to the pastors, but still was to the member as well. We gave them information about the connection of the NAACP and the local churches in our communities and how we had worked together over, the years of the existence, because we, it's how it works. And we connected those three, put each one of them, I'm sorry, I'm stumbling here. We had 5 of those packets in each packet. We put them in great big manila folders. And then Pastor Darrell got those out. I want to thank Kathy came out and helped me. We did those. We printed 200 here and got 200 printed offsite. Pastor Dale got the voter registration forms from someone at the courthouse. And so we had us a little assembly line going here. And then I think if I remember from my report earlier, he has distributed 13 of those packets. We made 40. And I think what he wanted, if anybody else wanted one, we could get those out. I think he's still continuing to get those out. And that is about it in a nutshell. But we have 40 packets of those letters to people who had not registered to vote and who had not joined the NAACP.
Okay, good job. As a result, we got new members out of that.
Okay.
And we are continuing to move forward. PR, moving on to what they're doing. Wesley, I think they met about it. Is he or Shamil? She was unable, she has some background noise, and so she's unable to come out and give the report. Okay, Wesley, would you like to give a report of what you guys are doing for voter registration campaign? Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you what Kiana shared with us is that there was an approval for the banner to go up in front of Walgreens as a message from the Drew County NAACP, and so that we could advertise, let people know we're behind voter registration. And then they're going to do some social media, some flyers, things of that nature, and do some social media marketing on voter registration. So she mentioned that they could have all of that started by this week. Okay, so they are moving forward with voter registration. Now, the reason we are pushing this, so everyone, is because the state, the national, this is what this organization is about. It's really a political civic organization because it's an election year, and the state has actually sent information and sent notice to me even, and I turned them on to our political action chair because they want to make a big deal. People are running for office. We want to make sure that minorities are represented, that they are signed up to vote because of the fact that what happened during the last presidential election, the lawsuits and all, voter rights are being attacked and so forth. And they are wanting us to really, really push this voter registration. So having these political forums consistently is important, making sure that we are putting a message out about registering to vote, even if we had to put boots on the ground, to do things. They're looking for us, not to be lazy, but to truly get out and to make a difference with this voter registration. So we'll continue to develop that as time goes on before finally the elections are done, so that we can get people registered to vote. While we're here and I'm on it, I want to make sure that each of you understand and spread the word that cards in Drew County were being sent out, and they're sent out with your information on there. And Wesley is sharing some voter view. He's sharing some links about voter registration now. And I'm sure they'll be posting it on our social media and everything as well. But those cards that came had all of your information on there, your ward, your zone. It even had your year you were born. Boy, that was a lot to be put in the mail, but and where you go to vote. So if any of that information, if any of that information is incorrect, you need to change that information. And I think that the deadline for getting those changes done and being able to vote in the upcoming primary and the November election is actually like the 25th, the 23rd, the 25th, something on that nature. So warn people, talk about it on text, see if they have if their whole household is registered, you can do a campaign where you guys just text all your friends, go through your text message, ask them, do they have anybody in their homes that need to be registered to vote, and encourage them to vote on behalf of NAACP, Drew County 6042. We are encouraging you to vote. So it's very little things. We can do these things. We don't have to just be here talking to us, but we can do that thing. So let's get that out. Let's make sure people are registered, and let's make sure we know who is voting. They also wanted to know if, like for instance, minorities who are running against one another in the primary, they wanted to know what elections that were minorities were running in anyway, so that you would have a chance to see what they are about and cast your vote if you agree with their platform, okay? Also, Voter View has sample ballots out now to view. So you can look at our chat. Our PR is working. He's getting some information in the chat, but he's getting it out there. So copy and paste that. All right, you guys, new business. Let's, I think he gave it during his report. Pastor Buffington gave that during his report. And I think I probably, the fundraising prizes, I also let Miss Peggy know we got to have a meeting on that, so we're not able to really announce that to you all tonight that I know of. But Reverend Buffington, at this time, let's go ahead. Reverend Buffington, the political action, he and Sister Buffington and legal redress were all a part of the judges forum in El Dorado. And so Reverend Buffington is going to share information about that event with you all at this time.
Thank you, Madam
Membership as
President.
well.
And
Yes,
Ms. Lambert, I'm
and that was
sorry,
Ms. Lou Lambert also was in attendance. And this was a Southeast Judicial Listening Series, and it comprised of 4 judges across the judicial area. One of our judges in the 10th district, which was Laura Bridewell, was there as well. And it dealt with racial injustice and criminal injustice and things of that nature. So, and our president had some questions, and I thought she handled herself quite well with those questions that was presented before the panel. And I think it was a great listening. I think one of the things that we got out of the meeting more so than anything is that, the judges, one of the judges made a comment concerning, his own personal issue, that he had a nephew that had been, I think, killed at the hands of policemen, and so, and him being a judge himself had to experience that. But I think one of the things that we need to do when it comes to those things is to make sure we have all of our facts together. Make sure that when we, protest or whatever we're going to do, when we address things like that, make sure that, make sure that we have all our facts. But I thought it was a great listening meeting among those judges. Like I said, you had some from Pine Bluff, again, from Southeast Arkansas area, and there are going to be some other meetings as well pertaining to this. And Madam President, if you want to add, please do add some others to it. But I thought it was a very good listening meeting for us to be a part of, and then kind of get our views on how we can make the judicial system a little better, better for minorities, better for everybody in concern. So again, I thought it was a good meeting.
Okay. So Mr. Jerome Pace, he has comments about I'll let him make comments.
I guess my takeaway was hold them accountable. These are elected officials, and if they're not holding the law to the standard that they were elected to do it, whether it be, wasn't really just the judge, we're talking about all the people that are voted into office. If they're not performing, if they're not doing the things that we feel or that we know that are not fair, not equitable, not just not consistent, then one of the judges says it's our legal right to vote them out. You voted them in. If they're not doing it, vote them out. So that was the biggest takeaway. Hold them accountable. If they're not doing it, vote them out of office. Put someone else in there.
Ms. Lambert?
Madam President, one of the things though that I wanted to hear them answer, and especially about the body cams. You know, a lot of time officers don't turn them on until an incident has happened. And I think that if body cams are available, they ought to be required to be used. I thought that was the law. And then there ought to be a system of, clearly that ought to speak for itself. And I don't think that any of the judges really address that to the point where you just got to walk away with a definitive answer, yes. And then I don't think that the victim's family should have to wait forever in order for that, for them to be able to view that. And then you can come to the table with your facts. That was one of the things I wish they had spent a little bit more time on talking about that, and just being transparent. I think that's important. If you're in a position, you know what position you're in, and transparency, I think, should be at the forefront.
And the other thing I wanted to add that, Madam President brought to the table concerning, we have some issues here in Drew County, and one of the things that she asked concerning recusing yourself. Am I saying that word right?
Yeah.
Recusing yourself. For instance, if you're personally, your family members or whatever is personally involved in a situation, how would you go about doing that? I mean, do you think it's right to recuse yourself? And of course, the judges said, well, yeah, of course, and so, but, we understand that we are in a situation here. And one of the judges, when he spoke, he said everything, but I know that's what he was leaning towards, and he was talking about transparency. But that's something that must be done in the judicial system, in the local law enforcement. The quicker that they can be more transparent when issues and situations happen, the less likely you'll have issues and incident. A lot of stuff happen, and everybody want to keep it so quiet and so concealed. And when the community and the public is in an uproar, the sooner they can be more transparent, the better the community can handle whatever situations are going or are transpiring. So that was some things that we discussed, some of the things that were being talked about. And I have to commend our president for asking the right questions and representing us quite well.
And I want to clarify this. I mean, I understand ongoing investigations. You can't share everything, but I do think that there's a point where we can have some clarity with the people that we're dealing with without it disrupting the ongoing investigation. I do believe.
Sure.
Okay.
Again, that goes back to holding people accountable.
Ms.
Vote 'em
Lambert,
in,
you
vote 'em
have
out. If they don't do what we need done.
That's right.
I like the suggestion that one judge made that suggested that we as citizens go into the courtroom and be present during some of these hearings and trials and so forth. so you can get a feel, so you can see what's going on. And even he mentioned that the officials, the judges, and so forth, everybody was kind of be on their P's and Q's. I think that is something good that everybody need to take that opportunity to go in, just see how the court system work. That don't mean that everybody that's being tried is innocent, everybody being tried is guilty. That means that you want to be there so you can understand the process. And in the event there may be a time that you may have to intervene.
And I'll say, I guess in summary is what I wanted to let all of us know. That's why we need we need active members, not just paying members, because we can see that there's a lot of work to be done. What I can see out of all of it is, number one, we need to be educated. Pastor Buffington said it. Sometimes we jump the gun over things. We get calls as an NAACP because everybody always think somebody has done them wrong, and they have a done you wrong song. Okay. When you get through investigating, you find out they didn't do you wrong. This is the law. These are the rules. And I have to go to my spiritual background that says that if you those that are enemy to the law are those who break it. Okay, so there are some things that we can't do because it is law, but by that token, we're learning some things tonight, and I learned some things while I was there that I didn't know. And so we do need to be educated as a people instead of just jumping because of the color of our skin. We need to make sure that we are in alignment with the rules and regulations and be educated and know how to approach the situation, because we can't always cuss somebody out. That's not going to get anywhere. That's when it's to the extreme. I ain't trying to stop nobody, but that's when it gets, after you've not followed the proper procedures, you might have to do that. But beforehand, that's why we have members. Okay, let me throw this in here. This is why we have members of all colors, races, and creeds, and we invite them if they have our same concern. They should not be praying 40 days and 40 nights to be a part of NAACP, because you're supposed to have the same outlook on justice and fairness, right? So we still got people praying to be a part. So but if this is your concern, then we need to bond that concern together. And that's where, when Pastor Jerome says holding people accountable, if the job is not done, then this is why the election years are so important, because we need to let people know this job they have not been doing their job. We don't want them in office. We need to select and train and put people in, literally put people in office, not to be our flunkies, but at least we know that they will be fair about what is going on. Okay, so it's not about control. I do want to say, being in the seat of political action, we are right. Somebody mentioned things are discussed before they are brought before the public, and yes, they are. They are discussed, what to say. I've seen people trying to form the right words, but yet it ain't being transparent to the public. We know you can't tell everything, but you need to tell enough that people can trust you with their matters at hand. We're making economic decisions, we're making educational decisions. This is important, and this is important to us. Okay, so I appreciate the attendance, the opportunity to speak. And I'm looking at a candidate now, a judge, an attorney, and I'm hoping and praying as you guys are speaking, this is a forum, this is a class, these are the things Josephine, Miss Buffington brought forward about the body cam. We have a chief of police who is a member in an ACP, this is a forum. This is a whole discussion, and we cannot be afraid to have these discussions so we can be educated and we can hold people accountable. So we can take care of the counties that are part of NAACP by bringing these things together, and we cannot be ashamed. And what I oftentimes say to you guys is that, and I think I said it at the MLK, we're not afraid to be Black. We're not afraid to address our issues that we face as Black people, period. Minorities. We cannot be afraid. We are who we are, and I'm proud of who we are. So I appreciate what you guys have done. Wesley is sharing information. We got some great resources that are part of the NAACP. Just encourage people to become workers, listeners, and supporters. And that's from, and you know, the executive committee, we start with you and officers. You know, we got to see your face in the place. You can't just office at the meeting. You got to be at these places and representing. We're the leaders. And then we go from there to our sub leaders and so forth. So I appreciate you all tonight. I'm kind of giving my closing spiel because that's where I was going to go anyway, because that was heavy on my heart. And I just wanted to remind us that we have work to do. So I appreciate everything. I think everybody has done a great job. Ooh, I didn't know how much work we have been putting in, and this is volunteer, and I just appreciate it. I do want to let you know that going into that, our state conference met last Saturday. Many of you, I know it was Easter Eve and was unable to attend, but we did have some representation on that meeting. The state is still under reconstruction, should I say. And so they're moving right along. But I encourage you, when the secretary sends out the information, please be a part of those bi-monthly meetings. We are paying your $5 registration, but we have a voice and we need to help our state conference. Our state president just happens to be the former president of the Drew County branch. And so let's get on there and let's do all that we can to work. And I got one other note. I don't even understand my own writing over here. But especially I don't even know what that is that I got going on, but I just appreciate you all. And I'm going to open the floor for announcements. Kiana was unable to join us again. I told her she's keeping babies that won't be quiet. So are there any open community announcements at this time? And then we'll move to adjourn afterwards.
Madam President, this is not an announcement, but I do want to, we've had several deaths in our community. One, Sister Lou Lambert, we want to offer her our thoughts and prayers on the passing of her brother. Then there's also the Benz family, as well as the McCoy family. All of this is going to transpire, I guess, this coming Saturday. And definitely I want to know that these families, and especially Sister Lou, you're definitely in our thoughts and prayers. And you know, we know if God can get you to it, he can surely get you through it. And so I just wanted to throw that out there for everyone. Okay. There's also the Lewis family as well, the passing of their family member. So we've had quite a bit of death in our community past week and into this week. So we just a step away from death.
Yes, absolutely. Anything else? Did we miss anyone else? Any more bereaved families that we may have missed?
The Ellenberg and
Type it in the chat.
Bristol family in McGee.
Okay, type that in the chat. And what we try to do is reach out to those who have family members, the secretaries are reaching out and showing our condolences. So type your information in the chat so that she can reach you if you know anyone who is bereaved. And always contact our secretary if one of you have bereavement in your family, okay? Thank you, Reverend Buffington, for reminding us. Okay, is there any other discussion, concern from anyone who is not executive committee? We've been doing a lot of talking, but those of you members, we hear your voice and we would like for you to speak, comment, or announcement or what have you. The floor is open. Okay. All right, if there's nothing else, then can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Madam President, Reverend Buffington, I move that this meeting be adjourned until our next regular meeting.
Lou Lambert, second motion.
All right, it's been moved and second. The meeting shall be adjourned. God bless y'all and good night.
Good night.
Good night.